Okay, so tell us about your your Denver trip that didn't happen.
Well, so we started off. We were supposed to have flown out on Saturday, and then the airline had canceled it. We could have taken a flight that would have taken us Charlotte to LAX, then to Denver, but we've gotten there around midnight. So we just decided to take the other option, which was the flight the next day. So, and this was all like 30 minutes before we were supposed to fly out. I had more time to work on my strengthening exercises. So I did that the night before, and I had included everything down to getting everybody in the car. When we went in the car, usually I'm like really nervous, but like I wasn't even nervous. And it happened, it was my daughter's birthday too. I left that out. But we went down to the airport, checked in, um, went through security, and like not even a blip for me. And that's very unusual. We flew to Charlotte. Once we landed, we got a notification that the flight was delayed like an hour and a half or almost 2 hours. So a couple of my kids and I, we went to go get food for everybody, just kind of walked around Charlotte, which is, big airport, you got lots of choices. And, everywhere while we were walking around, there were these huge video screens of the weather, all swirling around, all that nice moisture. And, it's like, that looks like a freaking hurricane.
Yeah, the
So
weather, the
I
Weather
was like,
Channel does not make it easy on you.
no. And it was everywhere you walked. So I was like, it would like, I guess like fire up every once in a while. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. They're not going to fly you there. If it's not okay, just like chill out. Let's go find some food. And I was actually able to eat some food, which again was very, very difficult. I mean, most of the time I don't, because I just, I feel like I'm going to gag on anything I eat. So we got the food for all the kids. Went to go to went to our gate, checked in. The pilot on that flight to Denver, he was amazing. He was like, what are you afraid of? And I'm like, I don't really like turbulence. And he told me, he's like, well, we should have a mostly smooth flight. And he showed me the weather that he looks at, and he showed me the I'm assuming it's the Pyreps video screen where it had the course that we were supposed to take. And he tapped on a couple of them and showed me what the pilots were reporting. And, I thought that was above and beyond. Like, he did not have to do that. And it really made me feel comfortable. He told me that his son got his pilot's license at 16. And, he's like, I want to get back to him. So it made me feel so much better. I went back to my seat, sat down. My husband's my main strengthening exercise guy. So I kind of put his face all over, even though he was sitting right beside me. I still put his face all over like the overhead bins, the seat in front of me, like anywhere that I would look around. And I was actually very tired, and I almost fell asleep a couple of times. And it was a little bit turbulent, but not bad. And then we got part the way there, and they announced that Denver airport had closed. I was like, okay. And I was like waiting to feel the plane turn around, but I guess my husband thinks he turned the plane and then told us. So I don't know. I didn't feel it turn. So then they said they were going to put us on a flight at 5 o'clock. They were going to try to land us, get us back on, and fly us back out at 5. And I was like, there's no way. But I was like, I still got a little bit nervous, because I'm like, oh gosh, I got to do this again.
Yeah.
Like,
Every
one
of those changes is going to release stress hormones, and you kept handling it, kept handling it.
Yeah, it was amazing, because honestly, without this program, I would have been a train wreck. Then my husband even said, he's like, you did really well.
Yeah.
So it felt good to come back, and then then we land, we find out that we're not going, and they couldn't get us there for 2 days, and we would have had like a 4-day vacation, and we were like, let's just go home and try to reset and do another time. So I was like, okay. I actually suggested to my husband we go to Florida. I was like, let's see, while we're at Charlotte, if we can just hop a flight to Florida, go see your parents. And like before SOAR, would not have been on my radar at all, like ever. Let's just take another flight, Okay, sure, no. So then we flew back. We got on the plane to fly back. I saw the pilots. I was like, hey, we were just flying this way this morning. Is it going to be as smooth as it was before? And he's like, no. He's like, it's going to be bumpy. And I was like, okay, thanks. But I'd rather be honest because then I can work on it, I don't want him to be told it's going to be smooth and then like be all bumpy. So then we were on the plane and they were getting ready to push back, and the flight attendant comes up, and she was this bubbly person, like almost got on my nerves. She was so nice. But she comes up and she goes, excuse me, sir. She's like, can you scoot you into the back of the plane so that we can have what is it, weight distribution or something?
Oh, that's right. Like, this was one of
yes.
the commuter jets, so it's small.
Yes,
and so
it's small.
Where the passengers are, it does make a difference. But that doesn't make you feel good.
That did not make. I honestly, that's when I wanted to just jump up and like beat on the door and like let me off. I'll drive. I was texting my friends, and my one friend was like, "You have 5 kids." She's like, "You can do anything for 45 minutes." And then my brain started kicking in again, and then I'm like, "Wait a second. My husband is a private pilot. He would not have gone to the back of the plane if there was anything at all that could, that was dangerous about it, So I was like, all right. So I got back in the motion again. And then we took off. It was nice and smooth. And he came back up, and it did get bumpy, but it was really weird because it was periods of nice smoothness along with periods of like super bumpy. Well, not super bumpy, but it was pretty healthy bumpy. And then we got home and had no luggage.
With all this stuff that happened, you realize you had reached a point where you were more emotionally strong than you ever were. Yeah.
Yes. And part of the way when we had turbulence, like it was about halfway through the flight, I was like, I opened my eyes and I was thinking about what my friend said, and I was like, dude, she's right. It was a much different experience than I had before SOAR. Absolutely.
When it comes to the plane itself, we know what's going to happen pretty much. The routine. So we know we can link to getting on the plane, sitting down in your seat, putting your seatbelt on, door closing, engine start, taxi out, so on, so on, so on. But the stuff that happens before the flight, there can be so many different things, and you can think so many different things. So that's more of a challenge, really, than what happens on the plane, but you did it beautifully. That's why I wanted to put that in the newsletter, because I know you're proud of it, and I am so proud of you too.
I was like, and even as I was writing it down, like I read it a couple of times, and I was like, yeah, that was good.